Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a truly fascinating and, let's be honest, a pretty unusual topic. We're going to explore the phenomenon of starseeds.
We are, and we're looking at their cosmic purpose, their, unique traits, and the huge challenges they face when they incarnate here on Earth.
And the material we're pulling from is special.
It really is, because it's a two-parter. We have the raw, hypnotic regression testimony, all the incredible details.
Right.
But we also have the practitioner's own critical review of that testimony. So our mission here is to pull out all that amazing insight, but also teach you how to apply a critical filter.
So you walk away truly well-informed. We're basically exploring this idea that extraterrestrial consciousness can and does incarnate into human bodies.
And they often have this powerful sort of hidden agenda.
So to start at the beginning, how do the sources even define a starseed?
It's actually pretty simple. They're defined as consciousnesses of extraterrestrial origin. In regressions, they're often seen visually as travelers.
Travelers.
Yeah, or sometimes shapes that look like bean seeds or, little capsules that are arriving on Earth.
A bean seed capsule. That's a very memorable image. And these travelers, they're not just showing up randomly, are they?
No, not at all. The testimony says they follow these established communication tracks.
Like cosmic highways.
Exactly, like railway lines in space. They're essentially riding these energetic flows. And it's important to note, this isn't just one group. They come from many, many different civilizations.
And why? Why come to Earth? Seems like a tough place to visit.
Well, the reasons really break down into two clear categories. The first is intentional. They have a specific, predetermined mission.
A goal.
A goal, yes, often driven by a deep sense of duty or just unconditional love to help the planet.
But that second category it's a lot more concerning.
It is. It's accidental or even forced landings. This can happen because of, capsule failures, hardware, software issues, that kind of thing.
Okay, a technical problem.
Right, or collisions. But the thing that really jumped out in the source was the mention of actual attacks by external forces near Earth.
Attacks trying to force them to land. That completely changes the narrative.
It really does. It goes from a peaceful mission to something more like entering a war zone.
Does the source say who these external forces are?
It links them to entities that want to maintain control to keep the vibration low here. They see these incoming high vibrational travelers as a direct threat. It makes getting into our atmosphere incredibly dangerous.
And yet they keep coming.
They do, which tells you how urgent the mission is. They're described as carriers of life.
Carriers of life.
Think of it like a planetary response system. When Mother Earth sends out a signal, a need for, say, healing or nourishment, the starseeds are the delivery service. They're the answer to that call.
So let's talk about their energetic blueprint. What is it about their ethereal DNA that's so different?
The primary trait is what the source calls an exaggerated hypersensitivity in the ether.
Hypersensitive.
An extreme sensitivity. But the source also says this gets dulled over time, over many incarnations on Earth. It has this sad line, "We become dull."
And I guess that's why a fresh consciousness is so powerful then.
Exactly. Their mere presence is like an energetic ripple. It automatically starts raising the vibrations of the people around them. They awaken what's described as ossified or like rock-like energy fields in other people.
So they're doing the work just by being here.
Pretty much. And that inner light they carry is even said to physically radiate our human cells, our DNA.
And that has physical benefits.
Apparently so. It's linked to stronger immune systems, better recognition of viruses, better antibody production, all sorts of things.
Wow. And beyond the physical, what about their talents?
They're described as having very distinct talents. Easy communication, this deep creativity, this soul of an artist, and people just tend to like them and trust them very easily. Their healing ability is just part of their energy.
It sounds incredible, but that hypersensitivity must make them so vulnerable to the very environment they're here to help.
That's the tragic irony. And the stakes are huge, especially since most came in response to Earth's call for help.
Which brings us to a really sobering statistic from the sessions.
It's a tough one. The data suggests that a devastating 83% of these visiting consciousnesses, they don't successfully return home.
83%.
Yeah.
That's a huge number. To know that 8 out of 10 fail, especially when they're driven by unconditional love, it makes their sacrifice feel immense.
It is immense. They get trapped.
Trapped by what, exactly?
By Earth's slow vibrations, by the blockages. And this isn't just a metaphor. The testimony claims Earth is currently 43% surrounded by what it calls a black swarm of low vibrational energy.
And what's that linked to?
It's explicitly linked to war and human conflict. That dark energy acts like a powerful anchor that just holds them down.
Okay, so what about the 17% who do make it? Is there a final hurdle?
There is a final exit barrier. It's described as a highly visible, three-layered, hexagonal, energetic net that surrounds the planet.
A hexagonal net. And there's a rule to get through it, isn't there?
A very specific one. Do not take Earth with you.
Meaning?
Meaning you have to shed all the low vibrational energy you've accumulated here, all the sadness, the suffering, the grief, because that's not part of your original self. If you hold on to that low frequency, you can't pass the net's frequency barrier.
So the whole mission really comes down to releasing all that human trauma before you can leave. But, back on Earth, identifying yourself as one of these beings seems tricky.
It is, because you feel normal your whole life. You don't know any different.
And that's where manipulation can creep in.
Precisely. The source gives a really strong warning here. Entities who want to exploit your energy will often use self-validation as a basic technique of manipulation. They feed the ego.
They tell you what you want to hear.
Exactly. Yes, you are special. You are a starseed. Listen only to me. It's a classic trap.
So how do you tell the difference?
Well, the source says true. High vibrational people are almost always characterized by a deep humility. Their energy speaks for itself. They don't need to shout about it or seek adoration.
Whereas the false prophets...
The false prophets are loud, they demand attention, they seek worship, and really, they're often energy vampires draining their audience. They're stuck in the lowest form of energetic exchange.
Let's talk about that, because the source lays out two very different types of exchange.
It does. The lowest form is horizontal exchange. This is, I give, but I expect something back. It's a trade.
And the source says this is low vibrational.
Very. It results in almost zero energetic fulfillment. You're just stuck in this constant low-level trade loop.
Okay, so what's the alternative?
The highest path, the one that aligns with the true starseed mission, is vertical exchange.
And that is?
Giving unconditionally. A real gift from the heart, with zero expectation of getting anything back.
And the payoff for that?
It's immediate and it's massive. You get this stronger energy replenishment that comes directly from the source. You know it's happened because you feel this spontaneous joy, that sudden, powerful smile that just hits you right after you give.
I love that. Let's switch gears slightly to something more physical, DNA activation.
Right. So the sources claim starseeds can have up to 8, maybe 12 strands of energetic DNA, but
only 2 are active here on Earth.
Typically, yes. Activating the others is all about belief and trust in your own inner life.
Is there a physical sign? How would you know if this is happening to you?
The main sign to look for is this spontaneous acquisition of a new skill. It's like you wake up one day and you can suddenly draw beautifully, even though you've never really tried before.
Your values just completely shift overnight.
Exactly. A sudden, unexplained change in talents, values, or interests.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time on these incredible concepts, the missions, the nets, the DNA. But we promised at the beginning that we would also look at the meta-knowledge here.
Yes. And this is probably the most crucial part of this whole deep dive.
The fact that none of this information gathered in hypnosis is guaranteed fact.
It's so important to understand why. The practitioner explains that info from a single research session is almost always extremely contaminated.
For a few reasons, right?
Right. First, the information has to travel through all these different dimensions and densities. It can get distorted and diluted along the way.
Second, it can literally be intercepted.
Yes, other entities can distort it, either on purpose to confuse you or just by accident.
And third, and this one feels like the biggest one for you, the listener, to consider.
It is. The information is filtered and contaminated by the subject's own mind. Their beliefs, their expectations, their mental structure. What someone already believes about aliens will, color the story they tell under hypnosis.
So if we can't fully trust one session, how do researchers find any verifiable truth in all this?
Through a really rigorous protocol. It involves not just a few sessions, but hundreds, maybe thousands of them, with different unrelated people.
And you ask the exact same questions.
The exact same narrow questions. You're looking for patterns across a huge data set.
The practitioner had a great analogy for this.
The gold dust analogy. The verifiable truth is the tiny amount of information that shows up in almost every session.
Like what? What's an example of gold dust?
For example, the general consensus about needing a high vibration for planetary ascension. Or, the general existence of reptilian interferers.
Okay.
Highly specific things like complex historical dates or cosmic names, that's probably contamination. But if hundreds of people who don't know each other all independently report seeing, say, a planetary energy net,
That commonality is the gold dust.
that's the gold dust. It tells us that broad concepts like the existence of starseeds might be very credible, but you have to apply critical thinking to every single detail.
And that duality is really the biggest takeaway for you. On one hand, you have these powerful, inspiring concepts of the starseed mission, unconditional love, sacrifice, raising vibrations.
And on the other, the absolute necessity of critical analysis whenever you engage with this kind of non-physical information.
So, to leave everyone with something to think about.
Yes, a final thought. Try this out. Take that principle of vertical energy exchange giving without any expectation of return and just apply it in your life for the next week.
See what happens.
Exactly. And pay attention to how you feel. If you feel instantly drained after helping someone, it was probably a horizontal trade. But if you feel a sudden, unbidden surge of joy,
That's your indicator.
that's your immediate sign of a high vibrational vertical connection. Use your own energy as the barometer.
That takes a really esoteric idea and makes it a practical tool for your daily life, a guide for your own energetic health.
It does.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the starseed phenomenon. Keep exploring and keep shining.